Hello. This is Sammy Porkchop. I just got a few thoughts going through my head. Of course, it's well into the early hours of the morning. Um, so that is naturally the time that my brain decides to explore the most. Um, and I have absolutely no regrets about that. It just makes timing difficult sometimes. So it is a for real blizzard outside right now is accumulating quickly. Um, of course, we're all hunkered down. We've done the necessary precautions and feel good. I don't feel like bad is going to happen. I don't have a car, so I don't have to dig it out of a snowdrift. So, no necessary shoveling done. Just put that off. So, now I've had some of these things stirring around in my brain for, geez, I don't know, a couple of weeks. Just trying to really get them to elucidate, I think is a good word for that. Um, but thinking about life, um, life is weird. Um, you know, life is the kind of thing that, you know, we like if someone tries to take my life, um, I'm certainly going to try to take theirs. Um, so it's not something that can be taken. Um, I mean, it's not something that you know is it's met with opposing but opposite force, but equal force. Um, and yet, to give it as as a mother and father would to a child is considered one of the one of the most holy things that can happen on this planet. All life that is begun with another life is a miracle. And to think of myself, I live a fairly good life. I'm in a first world country, um, fully industrialized, no real barriers to living a good life. I'm healthy. Um, you could say that I'm, I'm lucky. I'm born with certain traits that just make it easier for me than it has been for the vast majority of people over the human experience over time through the Enlightenment on into antiquity and you know Stone Age, Neolithic Age, I think is the correct term for that. So I really, you know, I think I kind of wander through this, and I don't know what there is about it, because take a mother who is digging in a cobalt mine that has her infant on her back, uh, and both her and her infant are being poisoned by the very thing that keeps them alive, working and earning the living that I personally will never have to worry about. And I go on enjoying my life, and I'm going to do everything I can to keep on doing so right until, that end that we all go to. And you take this hypothetical mother and infant that are laboring with all their willpower and with all the life that is in them just to, get through another day. And what is it about life that connects her and I? Because I don't have anything to die for. I have things I'll sacrifice for, but nothing I'll willingly give my life over except for my family. That's number one. But I'm just going to go on, and you take this mother and child, this mother and infant, and they're going to live, they're going to keep going too. And they don't have anything objectively to look forward to. They don't have a great life. This hypothetical person doesn't have anything to look forward to as far as bettering her outlook. But that's never a question. Giving up is never a question for the human experiencing life. What is that? What is that about life that it's almost addictive? It's almost addicting to live and not look at things objectively. And of course, sometimes there are some people who can't look out of that at the end of that long dark process. Some people, they do make that ultimate sacrifice. I'm not judging those people by any means, but I've become obsessed with why someone who has nothing to worry about, and I don't mean I don't have obstacles, I don't have challenges, but I'm not worried. I'm not going to have the lights shut off. I'm not going to freeze in the blizzard outside right now. I'm not going to starve. As a matter of fact, I just had something to eat at 1:44 in the morning, which probably isn't too good an idea, but you get the picture. And it takes someone else who has no chance ever of life ever getting more bearable than the bare minimum. And they go on. Life is never a question for them either. And I don't understand what it is. I think that life is an element, like fire, water, wind, earth, holy, shadow, lightning. You get the idea. And druids, alchemists. I think people over time have looked for these same answers in, in a mix between magic, which I believe that life is the most magical of any element. But it's also very bound to the earth. And that's why I say it's an element, because it's not something that you're never going to find, you know, an asteroid that has, you know, life as we would understand it. And maybe that's another mystery to solve, but not right now. And it seems like this earth has taken its magic and all of its element, every different element, and created this mixture of holy and shadow and evil and good and fire and earth and wind and lightning and light and dark, and created what we know as life as a human. And I think the magic can only be described as, I mean, if we want to investigate this, we have to give it a quantity. We know life has a quality. That's no mystery. You know, we all experience it. If you're watching this, you are experiencing life. So there is no mystery about the quality. But how to quantify it, how to quantitatively give it a classification. I don't know. I don't know what makes it in itself so demanding to be experienced and not to be thrown away. Because if, you know, if life was like a Tupperware and my Tupperware breaks, I'm not going to weld it with super glue. I'm not going to pray or get upset. We're going to throw it away. Life is beyond utilitarian, and we cannot replace it. And I think that's the reason we don't throw it away. But the impossibility of stepping into another's shoes in order to experience the reason that they are going on, when I don't even know my own reason. There's times that I'm sure all of us could have, you know, given up. You know, again, there's people that have. There's the people that have tried. But there's something about life that just makes each and every one of us feel special. And maybe that's it. Maybe that's as simple as it needs to be. Is life is just needing to be, and also being, feeling special. Maybe that's why that mother is, maybe, I mean, of course there's hope. You know, hope is a commodity. You know, it can be spent, it can be earned, it can be given. And by earned, I mean manufactured. I don't mean deserving. But maybe that's the mystery of God and all of this. And, you know, maybe that's the answer we're all looking for, because God seems to be a pretty universal thing, because as much as we all disagree on what God looks like, who he, she is, um, we all basically agree on characteristics and the fact that there is one. So maybe we're all just looking for God in ourselves and in others. And maybe that's enough of the human experience that makes it worth being alive. I think so. All right. I'm going to see if I can get this brain of mine to wind down a little bit. So I'm going to watch TV. And I'm glad that you're with me right now and that you hear my thoughts and that you can join and be a part of this. Thank you very much.